I'm gonna drop a couple bombs on the FD channel right now.
Who you rolling with?
I am rolling with FD.
I'm rolling with FD.
Let's do it. Let's go.
I'm rolling with FD, baby.
We are rolling with FD.
I'm rolling with FD.
Oh, you know we rolling with FD, baby.
We got alphas and bros in the house.
That's right.
Peace out, my brother.
Woo!
I'm rolling with the F, the D.
Learn something new every day when you're rolling with FD.
Yeah, we are rolling with FD, baby.
I roll with one person, and that's FD.
I'm rolling with FD, baby.
You gotta love it, man.
This is a family thing.
That's good. That's good, man.
Hey, Renee, who you rolling with?
Rolling with FD.
Rolling with FD.
You don't have to ask. I'm rolling with FD.
My man. But see, Bless, who you rolling with?
I'm rolling with FD.
I'm rolling with FD.
That's how you just rolling, right? That's the whole thing, right? You roll with it.
You gotta let me know who you rolling with.
We're rolling with FD. You heard it first.
I'm rolling with FD.
I am rolling with FD.
I'm not just a pretty face, Ziggy. JD, we should both do it.
No, I'm not doing that.
What questions do you have for me? Right, Manny and Jeremy, who you rolling with?
We're rolling with FD. We don't want to get our asses kicked.
You gotta let the people know who you rolling with, man.
Well, obviously I'm rolling with FD.
What's up, everybody? How we doing? Today is September 11th. We think about the families that have been involved and what happened now in 2001. I remember the day where I was at and what's going on. We remember those families. I also I'm very excited because we have a great guest here that I want to talk to for a while. We have the Iron Sheek here. How are you doing?
What's going on, FD?
What's going on, man? What's happening?
It's good. I'm a long time coming. We've been trying to set up some time to get on here, and I'm glad I'm finally here.
Yes, it's good to have you here. Good to have you here. We got Big John says he's rolling. It's good to have you here. What's up, Big John? I always start with, I know you got Dion in the background. Tell us a little bit about that. We were talking about that before we got on.
Yeah, so I'm not really a 90s collector. My genre is honestly 2000s.
Okay.
But a couple of months ago, I just had the chance to trade to go get this. And I just was like, maybe it was like a short-term play. Maybe it was a long-term play. I'm starting to believe maybe it's a long-term play, but I just like the guy. And
So do I.
And did I like pay a good value to get the card? Yeah, I did. And I didn't really care about that when I got it because I was just thinking, he just seems to be so inspirational that I wanted to have him. And I think that's like that fine line of like cards. Like, yeah, there's value in him. And if I move the card, yes, there'll be value. But I picked up the card because I also believe in him. And I actually love the fact that there are doubters. I am not one of those guys.
Let's talk about the doubters because I've had a few posts up and some people have chimed in, and there are some people that have some real disdain and dislike for Deion Sanders. And I scratch my head to understand why. So let me go through some characteristics. Now, I've met Deion a few times. So it's not like I'm just looking at a guy that's on TV. He speaks his mind. He's going to tell you exactly what he is with you. He's done this with me at like an autograph show. He can be very straight to the point.
Yep.
He's a father. He has a relationship with all his children. Look, we talk about that. He put up a post today about Bucky, his Deion Sanders Jr. that his social media program and all the work he's doing. And I can tell even in interviews the other day on Fox, Deion is pointing out not only his two sons, Shiloh and Shadur, who are playing, but he's also pointing out what Deion Sanders Jr. is doing. His daughter played basketball at Jackson State, plays basketball at Colorado. Him and his sons come out to watch and cheer her on. Why do you think? I'm going through this whole resume of things. He's brash. He's arrogant. Why do you think people dislike Deion Sanders?
I think they don't like change. And I think he's new. He's fresh. Like, I'll tell you the one story where it just got me thinking, like, this is different. When he said that he doesn't put C's on people's chests in football. All
Okay.
I think about, I think about the cards. How many amazing cards do you have where you got a little piece of that C? I mean, I started out in the hobby with like collecting Eli Manning, and I was looking for that C captain patch cards all over the place. That was like the thing. And then Dion comes out and says, I'm going to put one for L and one for D.
Leader
Either
dog.
leader or a dog. And
Yeah.
I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, and this is the real truth. Okay. This is what I feel. And I think it really also pushes over to business some of the things that he's talking about. You can either talk about it or you can be about it. And in business, if you be about it, everybody pays attention. So I really think, like, I don't know if it's just I'm resonating with him, but he seems to be about the kids, about them getting their money, getting their due and respect. And then I think he's just changed. He's going to change like the narrative of what that student athlete is. The biggest shock to me is he went through the whole process in college. Then he went, Cowboys, baseball. He was at every big stage. He didn't really, he was never a part of like NIL or making your bag before you got pro. But he seems to understand that that's the way things are going, and he's kind of embracing it. So now the question is, you as the leader of that team, can you make your players be in check? That's like, yeah, you're going to make some money on this, but I'm going to hold you accountable to what's on the field. And I think that's the fine line. Is the money going to go to your head or not? And I think he might be the guy for players to make sure that it doesn't go through their head.
Now he's coaching beyond just football. He's teaching these dudes how to dress. There's a dress code. He talks a lot about how to address all different types of people across campus. He's talking to them about financial things. How do you save your money? How many cars do you really need? How many gold chains or ropes do you need? How many diamonds do you need?
I mean, to me, does he sound like a guy that has a lot of money? Because he doesn't sound like a guy that has a lot of money to me. The way that he sounds, and this is how I've always felt great leaders are, rich or poor, they talk to everyone like they're the same. And that's the answer. And I think that's what I see in what he is. He does not care what you've done before. He's like, show me what you're going to do now. And I think that's why he's going to be successful.
I totally agree. Totally agree. Big John says he wants the student athletes to earn the NIL. Yep, and then how to manage it. What are you going to do with it? And he talks about all the time your brand. What do you look like? Never seen Deion Sanders with his look not on. Never seen the Suns with their look not on.
Yep.
He totally revamped what Jackson State was doing as far as appearance. He brings in people into practice that you can learn from. I mean, T.O. was there all week last week.
Really? I didn't know that.
T.O. was there. Sheek, I stay on this stuff. T.O. was there all week. Came to practice almost every day. Is around these guys. Then you had Shannon Sharp. You had Stephen A. Smith. You had actors. Different people coming through.
Yeah, Brady.
There'll be more people coming through. There's sideline conversations. These guys making connections. At Jackson State, he had Strahan come in and bring in his suit line and get these guys dressed out. So every road trip, they look clean. They look like a team.
It's just never been done on the college space before, what I think he's trying to do. And because everyone, and this is how I always feel, everyone always thinks if you color within the lines, you're going to be successful. And I think you're right. For the most part, you will be. But Dion is like that candidate where I feel like it's okay to color on the line. We're still going to paint the whole picture. I just feel like that's how I think about Dion and what he's about to do. But that's it. I believe in that he's going to be a winner, and I think eventually he will go to the NFL and he will be successful there as well.
So do you think you see him going to the NFL or a bigger program in college?
He'll do a bigger program in college first, and then he'll probably go to the NFL. I just think he's like, I don't want to call it like similar to Calipari and when he first came to Kentucky, but he's like a mountain climber. He's like, what's the next challenge? I mean, who knows? Maybe the guy will run for office or something. You never know.
Never know. I don't know if this is breaking news or not, but Aaron Rodgers suffered an ankle injury during tonight's game. Do you know about this?
Yeah, so someone just texted me about it. I think they might have said it might have been a broken foot.
Well, they're saying they've done X-rays. This Imani, who I talk to a lot, just sent me this. Jets say X-rays were negative on Aaron Rodgers' ankle, but he will not return to tonight's game.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
First drive. It not a good couple days for New York football fans.
So this is what we tell people is that, you know, when you see Brady, when you see these guys walk off on their own accord, and Shannon Sharp has a new podcast, so it was just Cinco, and they were doing like some funny stuff, but Shannon said that for you to walk off and be healthy at the end, there's some luck involved. So, you know, Brady almost pushed you to the brink where you don't know what was about to happen to him, and Aaron Rodgers.
Well, you know, people forget the year that Brady tore his ACL.
Yeah, and was out.
He didn't miss a beat.
And that's when the NFL changed with him going out and the Bengals quarterback going out, Carson Palmer. You can't touch the quarterback now because, you know.
Yeah.
And then I will say there was a quarterback that stepped up. Castle? Was it Castle? Stepped up when Brady was out. I think it was Castle.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was Matt Castle.
And, got a few contracts out of that deal. So, yeah, let's hope that Aaron Rodgers is okay going forward.
So here's the card, FD. This is the card.
Beautiful card, sir. I'm going to tell you, I've never actually seen that card.
Oh, I got to send you a photo.
I've never actually seen that card.
I'll send you a photo after it's over. It's just, by the way, I'm a basketball collector.
Okay.
I have never owned a PMG of any card. So
this
is my first PMG in any, which is shocking to me because I collect mainly basketball, and the fact that my first PMG is a football guy is funny.
So tell us the story behind that. Tell us the story behind that card. How did you find it? What got you? I know it's Dion, but what's the story behind it?
Well, I mean, like, I wasn't looking for it, but I was just I just saw it on Instagram story, and the guy told me that it was on the second table that he found at National. So this was bought like right after National. So call it, 4 or 5 weeks ago. And so the only reason the guy was willing to move it is he said he had a better copy. So he moved me his second copy. And that's how I acquired it. And to be frank, once I started researching it before I was making him the offer, I started realizing how rare it was. I mean, the card's numbered to 150. There's only four cards in PSA slabs, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's it. And I was a little shocked by that. I also never saw it's never been sold publicly in a PSA slab. So that goes into part of like some of the stuff that I research when I go and make a deal for a card. If a card's sold every single month, I don't really find that to be rare enough for me.
So let's jump into that. This is a good segue because I know I wanted to pick your brain on some stuff.
Yeah.
Walk through the steps you take to acquire a card. How do you find out about it? What are you looking at? What kind of things pique your interest? Walk us through that.
Yeah, so I think that collecting journey has changed quite a bit. I think in COVID, it was built upon how do we make a buck? And everything that you touched at that time was making money. I'm sure you realize like the flips people were making through grading, stuff like that. But what changed post-COVID for me was I stopped enjoying flipping the cards for money, and I wanted to go back to how I got into the hobby in the first place, which is just like loving cards. So I downsized considerably in the last couple of years. So I only have my PC, and then if you want to call it cards that I guess I want to move eventually, I only have a couple dozen of those. So I really like changed my strategy. I went back to my PC, started selling all the stuff I didn't care about in my PC and non-PC, and now have surrounded my collection with just cards of players that I think could explode to go ahead and pay for more of my PC. My PC is like like the truth is like some of the stuff that I like is not cheap. So I don't want to just keep putting money into the PC. I need to make some money to go pay for the PC. So that's kind of where I'm going right now. So some of these cards, yeah, if I move the Dion this year, so be it. But it's not my PC, so I would like to move more towards that.
I've kind of done that same thing. I kind of sold some cards to buy some stuff that I really like. And I'm kind of at a point now where I think I'm going to focus myself on certain players. We got Bedard in hockey. He's coming. And people know I prospect on James Wiseman and Steph Curry. It's probably going to be like 3 or 4 different athletes that I really focus in on. And then we'll see what else is happening out there. Who else shows themselves? Because I think about it, when you look at sports, if we're talking about true GOATs and true legends, they're like 2 every 20 years.
Yeah.
That's about it.
That's honestly not even what I'm talking about, though, when I talk about my PC. Like, I like GOATs is once a generation, right? Like, let's call it what it is. Like Curry, Kobe, LeBron, Durant, and I guess I don't know who the modern GOAT's going to be, but it's looking like it could be like Jokic, maybe that in that realm or whatever. But I used to I started out in the hobby as a set collector. So I was chasing the Baron Davises of the world, the Sasha Pavlovich and stuff like that. And I would spend so much time trying to gather the whole set and every single card. Really what's changed for me, FD, is like having a family now, being able to balance a job and my family. I've decided like I can't go and chase the small cards anymore because there's so many sets that I want. So I've actually decided to any set that I've already started and I want to get every card, I'm going to keep going with that. But any new set that I'm starting, I've changed my philosophy and I'm only going to try to get either players I loved or potential Hall of Fame players that are in the pipeline. So that really like dwindles down the list.
Yes.
But also, like people don't realize, FD, is like when you set collect, it isn't like Dwayne Wade that's hard to get. It's that Baron Davis, like that someone has in their 2-ply, and they don't even know that they have it, and they don't care about it. And those like pop up once in a blue moon. So I just can't track it like I used to. It's tough for me to chase sets like that. So I'm changing philosophy based on what I have time for.
Understood. You say you have a family, you have children?
Yeah. I have a 10-month-old son. So
well, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I had him last year, and he's today is the first day he's starting to teeth. So he's all over the place. He's nibbling on some raw carrots.
Is he trying to stand up?
Yeah. He's standing up now, but he's holding on to the side of the couch. I think they're calling it cruising.
That's
where
right.
They're like walking a little bit.
Man, what's going on here?
Yeah, exactly. So to be frank with you, I think in a couple months it could be a little scary. He's going to start running around everywhere.
If he's standing up and taking his hand off a little bit and then coming back to something.
Yes, he's on one hand right now.
He's ready to go.
Oh, really? Is it going to come pretty soon?
In a couple of months, he's going to be on the move.
Yeah. But I will tell you this, FD. I am excited to take my son to the card show so that he could eat some people alive that's beat me up on deals, because they're going to give my son a good deal.
Yeah, it's coming. He's going to handle his own, especially with your tutelage. He's going to handle his own. So you say you like basketball.
Yeah.
You have a Dion card.
Yeah.
Is basketball your go-to? Is that your main sport?
I would say right now there's 2, and that's tennis and basketball. But tennis is more like a love kind of thing. Just I played tennis in college. I just played it for a very long time. So for me, like, there are certain cards in the tennis sets that are important. They don't have the same kind of lineage that basketball, baseball, football have. To be frank, I'm kind of waiting on Topps to take over the mantle. And there was a Topps Chrome tennis set that came out this year. Unfortunately, it didn't have a good checklist. So it only had it had Coco Gauff, which is great, but it didn't have any of the legends. And so I was very disappointed because it was the first ever Topps Chrome set to come out for tennis. So I'm hoping Topps takes the next initiative. Can we get Novak into there? Can we get Nadal into there? So tennis and basketball are my main two. Football is a third. And I'm just now starting to get into baseball.
Okay.
And here's the main reason. This is actually, I don't know if you want to, this is a pain point of mine in the hobby. Actually, I'll tell you exactly. So I would love to prospect on basketball, but I think the issue is the products come out too late.
You don't. You're telling the truth there. Yeah.
And I'll give you a great example. So before the season started, and I watch a lot of college ball because I'm from Kentucky, and there's no pro sports teams in Kentucky.
What part of Kentucky are you from?
From the little southeast corner where Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia meet in the Appalachian Mountains.
Okay.
Daniel Boone Trail. So it's like literally in the middle of nowhere. I grew up in a town of 10,000 for 20 years. Okay. So really far from civilization, but essentially small community. Everybody knows everybody. You drive down the street, you say hello to someone, they know you. And what I'm telling you is, like, I know of like certain players in college that are going to be good before probably the general public are going to know it, because I follow college basketball through Wildcats.
Speak on it. Yeah.
So here's an example I'll tell you. So I started getting into game use stuff a couple years ago. And you can actually buy a game used jersey of an NBA rookie before the season comes out. You can actually reserve a spot and buy one. So I actually bought a game used jersey of Benedict Mathurin on the low before he ever played an NBA game.
Oh, wow.
And the way it works is it's kind of like a lottery. You put your name on a wait list, then actually MyGray gets 30% of all NBA jerseys. And so then MyGray sends you a list, say, hey, these are the jerseys. These are from the games that they played. Which ones do you want? And so, I think I got like third pick for Mathurin. So I chose like I didn't think it was going to hold, but it's his highest scoring game in his rookie season when he played against KD and Kyrie in Brooklyn. So I bought that. And the reason I bought that FD is there was no card for me to buy of Mathurin. I would have loved, how awesome I would have loved to buy I would have overpaid and bought a gold prism or an orange prism of him if it was available. And that is the one part of basketball collecting for me right now that's been a really irritating. I just want a shot. I want a shot to use my research and also like the players I believe in, and that's what prospecting in baseball is doing, which is what I think is great about baseball collecting.
Yes. So, you bring up a good point. How many people do you talk to in basketball that say, I'm going to wait on Flawless, National Treasures, Prism to come out? I talk to a lot of people that say that.
It's kind of, they watered down like the set, some of the other sets, which is what has become an issue. So I'll give you an example, a great one. I was such a fan of Select, and now I don't buy any.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And I just can't, you're going to put an elephant print and a tiger print and, a zebra print, and you're just going to keep going and going and going. And I'm just like, we're going to look back at this and be like, which one do we really even care about?
Well, I talked to a few people at the Burbank show. I saw within probably 15 minutes, several one-on-one Justin Fields Select cards.
Yeah.
Several.
There's a lot of one-on-ones now. So it's not as rare as it used to be, but there are some, not everything's equal. Some one-on-ones are more important. Like courtside black Select is very important. It's probably the best Select that's out there. But I kind of agree with people. I want to wait on Prism. Like, no offense, but I just don't care to open a box of hoops.
Yes.
It's just not for me. I get it. I actually think hoops would be an amazing product for kids.
I agree.
And I wish there was a way that we could hold the price low so that kids could rip it. And FD, I don't know if you think about this. I'm thinking about things differently now that I have a son.
Yes.
I'm thinking about, like, it's expensive to get in here.
Yes.
And I'll give them money to go buy a box, but I wish like hoops was more affordable for them to get a shot at some numbered cards.
That's right.
And so I'm hoping maybe something changes in the future. But right now, unless you want Prism at like $600 a box, you really don't have, you don't got a lot of options. Maybe Optic, that might be an option.
And it almost feels like, and I've said this a few other times, that opening price point stuff could have more rarity inserted to give younger collectors or the people new to the hobby something that can help them kickstart a collection, be able to really trade something, move their way up, kind of hold the price. If you even want to hold the price point and not lower it of what the boxes and cases are. So there's a real draw there.
Well, think about cycles, okay? So you buy the baseball card now. Some people will hold for a year, some people will grade and then they'll flip, right? But then there are 2 years before that player even gets called up. Same thing happens almost in football if you think about quarterbacks. Their cards may come out, but most of those rookie QBs aren't going to see a game until their second year, or they play right at the end of the season in January when their team's already eliminated, right? In basketball, one of the things that I keep seeing is the prices sometimes keep falling. And I think it's because of the release date of the item. If they could just do the stupid photo shoot and put the Prism product number 1, make that the first release, and that gets released on the first week of the NBA season, I think we'd see a different dynamic. You'd see prices stabilize, prices skyrocket from grading, then prices maybe slowly fall, but then it would maintain. Whereas right now, I think kind of what you're seeing is, all right, we know which 10 players are good. Everyone else, I don't think I know if they're good. And then all of a sudden, there's just like a flood. I don't know. I just feel like they've taken the fun out of collecting modern basketball for me, to be honest.
I agree. And I think it's going to be me personally. I've said to a few people, and they're like, no, I don't think so, FD. I think you're going to see more basketball players now that you have guys that are one and done coming into the NBA. And it's going to take about 4 or 5 years for you to really know who they are. They're going to be about 22 or 23. The age they will be if they spend 4 years in college before you really know who they are. So if you're breaking boxes and you're not penny sleeving and putting that in the top load and storing it somewhere, you don't know what cards you could have later on when someone really starts to blossom.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be something close to what you just talked about with baseball, because there are, even now, you look at LaMelo Ball, he's averaging 6 points a game, really hasn't done much. You look at Anthony Edwards, just starting to try to show us who exactly he could be as a player. He's going into his 4th year. And then you got some people from the draft before. Look at Zion and Ja. Questions are still out. So you're going to have guys further along in their career, but still in their own early 20s, probably on their second contract, before you really know what that player is all about and where they're about to go in their career, and then where their cards are.
But also, but think about it this way. Think about how high Zion and Ja got. They got so ridiculously high. And then it was like, how are you want to keep that? You want to keep that NTRPA price? You're already telling me they're going to the Hall.
Yep, true.
With that kind of pricing. So that's what the market wanted at that time. I get it. But I'm telling you, if we and people will say, oh, basketball, when Flawless comes out and NT comes out, it explodes. The reason it explodes is because they've already shown you a little bit of what they're about when the product gets released. That's why I wish it would just be like they front run it.
Yeah.
And then what you see in the secondary market, FD, you see a lot more trading. You see a lot more buying and selling on the secondary market, even before, like, oh, they see Zion put up 30 points on month 3. So much Zion would change hands. That's and true. I feel like from the buying, trading, selling standpoint, it would help too. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on it. I hope that Tops and Fanatics make a change to that. So we'll see what happens.
So jumping into basketball, I know a lot of people have been talking lately about who's the greatest point guard of all time. Is it Magic Johnson or is it Wardell Steph Curry? What do you think?
So Are we talking about point guard duties or just people playing that position? What do you
really people playing that position, because point guard duties are done. There's probably, if you look at today's game, top point guards, none of them are traditional point guards.
Yeah, they're different.
Probably a thing of the past. So I'm just saying, someone playing that position.
So to me, it's Magic, but I have my reasoning why. I think, you can argue. Some will say Steph at 1, Steph at 2, maybe Steph 3, but he's right there. He's in one of those spots.
Mhm.
The only other people that I could, potentially argue, if you want to argue, maybe if you like a Stockton, maybe if you like an Isaiah Thomas, those are kinds of those people, but I could see Steph ahead of both of them.
Yeah.
So there is a reason why I think Magic goes ahead, and this is the only reason why. When they were in trouble in series in the playoffs, they would put Magic on them on defense early on in his career, and he would deliver on the defensive side. And I just think, okay, Curry has been absolutely amazing. The team has, and by the way, FD, Curry is a really sore topic for me because I'm a lifelong New York Knicks fan, and we were one pick away from him.
Oh yeah,
and forever.
I watched that draft many times.
I just hate Jordan Hill to a core now. I'm just like, gosh, could we have traded up for him? And I just think, it would have changed the Knicks franchise forever. So Curry would have delivered anywhere he went. People say, oh, he's part of the system. No. He would have gotten you 30 to 40 points, probably on another team that didn't have as much talent, because he would have gone to shots. So Curry is a better offensive player than Magic, but when I think about passing, I like Magic more. But the true thing for me is Magic played a little more on both sides of the ball, which is why I like Magic when it comes to half court and it comes to defense. And then when I think about Curry and I think about Warrior defense, the team defense that they had so many people, on their way to so many championships, were so good at defense. Iggy was good at defense. Even Barbosa at times were good at defense. And then you have Draymond, which don't get me started on how valuable that guy is. So much people talk crap about him. I don't care. I'm a Knicks fan. I would pay him 25, 30 million a year to come to my team. I would rather have him than Randall. And people would think I'm nuts for that, but I don't think people realize the psyche that he brings to the rest of the team.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what I would want. So I think Curry, even though he changed the game, right? 3-pointer, unstoppable scorer, and was going to get a chip probably anywhere he went. Maybe not 4, but he was going to get a chip regardless, I think, of any team he went to. I just think that defensive side, he had a lot more help in some of those championships that that's why I give it more to Magic. But listen, Magic also had Kareem, okay? So I get it. So you want to split hairs, you can.
Kareem, Worthy, Byron Scott, he has some.
Well, Worthy and Byron Scott, I mean, I'll give you Klay Thompson.
There you go.
He's up there with Worthy and Byron Scott. You got Klay Thompson is great in his own right. So I'm gonna say you want to split hairs, you can. I'm giving it to Magic.
That's what we're doing. We're really splitting hairs. We're talking about greatness on both sides.
Yeah. What do you think about how I said that? What do you feel?
Oh, I respect your opinion. I mean, Magic Johnson is. We could watch basketball another 50 years. You won't see a Magic Johnson, and just so we get refreshed around here. I called G in the room the other day. We sat down and watched some 1991 playoffs. Magic is coming down, giving the ball to somebody else, rotating over, getting in the post, calling for the rock. And he's backing people down. So he's a point guard, he's a forward, he's a power forward, he's small. He can play the 2. He can do a whole bunch that's detrimental. I would love to see him. There are a few players I always talk about. What if they played today?
Oh, yeah.
What money would Magic Johnson make today? How would he affect the game today? There's no one like him.
It's not even that. It's his personality. I mean, have you seen some of those interviews?
Drop him in the social media?
Oh, yeah. Some of these guys might get in trouble, though. But
I think Magic Johnson, no, he would carry himself in a certain way. I just do believe that he would take things to a whole nother level. We just got to talk about Dion, who is a master of I'm always on when I'm in front of this camera and I'm presenting myself a certain way. And Dion was doing that way before social media himself. So
true. Well, some people weren't friendly. Mr. Wilt Chamberlain wasn't the most friendly.
No, Wilt wasn't. Wilt would have had to go to social media school to really make
I want to tell you a funny story about like in 2016 when I was starting to buy bigger cards. It's probably when I started getting capital so I could buy bigger cards. Before then, I was just doing smaller stuff. Mm-hmm. So my buddy was telling me, "Hey, what do you think about this guy?" I was like, "I think he's gonna be good." Like, I swear, like I still feel this way. He lost his potential, but if he had stayed with it, and I think he had kept his confidence, I really thought he was going to be the second coming of Magic Johnson. And so I bought a couple of his BGS 10 Prism Silvers before he started playing. Made a good amount of money on him early on in his career, but he faded and he's disappointed me. And his name is Ben Simmons. I really thought he was going to be like Magic Johnson. His passing skills, his vision is absolutely insane. His defense is great. He can't make a bucket because he's scared.
You know, the only thing that got me about Ben Simmons, it's like Michael Olowokande. When Ben Simmons was at LSU, were you talking about Ben Simmons?
I knew about him because I watch SEC, so I knew he was dominating us.
That entire season, I was like, okay, what did this guy was not on my radar. Didn't know what he was.
Zero help, FD. His team was so crap. It was nuts how bad his team was. And he was going up against.
When you take a guy from that microscope level, no one's really looking at LSU and expecting anything.
Yeah.
And then you drop him into a top pick and then drop him in a major market.
FD, he was making fadeaways. His rookie year, go watch the tapes. It's shocking to me. I'm still shocked by it. He was making fadeaway jumpers in summer league on the reg. I could not believe it. And that now he passes up layups now. FD
doesn't want to.
And I'm just like, so I actually thought he was, and if he had started scoring FD, we would be talking very different about Ben Simmons.
Well, I've talked about a few people that were hot on Ben Simmons up front.
If he just got us 20 points a game, not even 30, forget that. 20 points a game with his other skills, he's a top player in the NBA.
Well, he's saying now, he has. I love when the PR people go to work and they start showing pictures of people baby oiled up and working out. Well, he said now he's ready.
I mean,
we're gonna see something.
I hope so. I mean, KD's not there. It's gonna be his show. Well, it's actually Mikal Bridges' show, and then he's gonna be the other guy. But we'll see what happens. Are you looking forward to this season? I mean, I thought you'd be.
Season to me, it's gonna answer a lot of questions. There's probably 20-something questions that I have in my mind about the upcoming NBA season.
What's your top question? I know you're the host, but what's your top question?
You can ask me any question. This is open forum. You can ask me any question.
What's your top question you want the Warriors to answer?
Can they get one more? At least one more. I believe they can get two. Can they get one more championship before Steph, Clay, and Draymond get up out of there?
That window is small. Probably got 2-3 years max.
That's it. I give them 3 seasons. You got to maximize what you can do in 3 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, I know it is going to sound crazy to say, but this may be the last season Draymond Green starts with that team. He may come off the bench after next season.
And I don't think that's a bad deal.
He doesn't care.
When he finished last year, that second unit started thriving.
He'll still finish in the fourth quarter. They'll still play him then. I will say this: I'm a little surprised that you're so high on Wiseman, but you haven't brought up Kuminga. Because Kuminga is the guy I think is legit.
It's only because of this. Because Kuminga just started playing organized basketball.
I know, but look how good he is.
He's a very raw guy. Another thing that set me back on Kuminga, because I was about to start. Most people don't know this. This is breaking news.
Breaking news.
I was buying Wiseman. I was about to start buying Kuminga. I know several people that I would talk to all the time. So I have circles of people. I have some people that I've known for a long time that are not in the hobby, but they're sports watchers, avid. So I would talk to them about, what do you see when you see Kuminga? Yeah. And like clockwork, they would bring up, he's not mature enough. And so that is what stopped me from really buying Kuminga. And I think other people see that too, because I've seen a lot of his prices come down tremendously. Than what they were last year at this time when the season was about to start. And when he got to the playoffs and started complaining about his playing time and was on the bench with a towel over his head and Iguodala's talking to him, I'm like, come on, man. Like, don't go down the dark side. Don't go down the Jordan Poole road. That's not you, man. Don't do that. You need to come over here and focus on. I've been playing organized basketball for 3 years.
FD, people be buying Poole in the offseason, though. People are low-key buying Poole.
Keep buying them. But I've seen guys score 25 plus, low 40s, and play for a team that never gets to the playoffs. And we know that you need to get to the playoffs. You need to show some leadership. I haven't seen leadership from Poole on a consistent basis.
Oh, I agree with you.
I haven't seen it.
I like him. I just feel like he was in the wrong situation. We'll see what happens. I think I expect him to get 20 plus for Charlotte.
Oh yeah, if he's not doing that with the worst team in the league, then what is he doing?
Yeah, it's gonna be him and Kuzma.
Yeah,
I don't know who else. But yeah, so what's happening right now is everyone is, well, they have been for the last month. They've been low key loading up on basketball, but nobody's talking about it on social.
Nobody's
talking about it. Everyone's loading up.
And you and I both know there's more going on than that.
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, football, everyone's trying to get out of right now, and they're trying to displace money to battle. I don't blame them, but I feel like if you start basketball right now, you're almost starting midway through. You probably got a good month, and that's it. And then I'm talking about if you want to do prospecting. If you're buying like the GOATs, nobody cares. I mean, everyone cares that you're buying them, but you don't got to worry about price.
Yeah, that's the time frame.
Yeah. So. But yeah, so here I'm going to show you one card that I bought actually in April.
Go ahead. Can't wait to see it.
So this is the guy.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love his game. That's a great card, man.
That's a Brunson NTRPA logo, man.
Look at you.
And by the way, this is the first Knick I have bought since Patrick Ewing, who's my favorite player of all time.
Okay.
But that's because I grew up as a kid in New York. So my dad was a Knicks fan all throughout his life. And so we grew up just watching Ewing, Allen Houston, Larry Johnson, Spreewell, and just punishing those Pacers. Because, I don't like them Pacers.
I don't like the Pacers either. I'm from Chicago.
Oh, fair enough. So I got this. I got this off of a guy actually. And so I'm looking to see how once again,
I like Brunson a lot.
FD, this might be maybe I'm learning this as this dang podcast is going on. I think I like the leaders. I think maybe I just like the leaders. Look, here's another one I added. I like him as a leader too. I think he's going to be a good leader.
Halliburton is nice. Yeah.
I think he's going to be a good leader. I don't know. I keep adding leaders. Maybe that's my theme. I don't know.
So do you like guards? Point guards, shooting guards?
No, I'm not. It's not like my main thing. No, I don't collect centers or anything like that. Well, I have Giannis, if you want to call him a center. I have a Giannis card as well. I kind of collect the way I like to collect is I like a couple of things. Not even just can you score me points, but are you creating points for your team? And it used to be 10 years ago that position was small forward. Sure. I think a lot of people that are small forwards in the league, I honestly think they changed positions. Some of them got moved to shooting guard. Some of them even got moved to point forward. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like the guys. If I target people in basketball, this is how I like to target. I don't usually like targeting the main guys because I already know that their price is already too expensive for me. So I'll go to tier 2. And then the next, those five players, who is scoring me points, rebounds, and assists. And more so than that, I'm also looking for, are you going to be a winner? I care about that more than the points, rebounds, assists. Look, De'Aaron Fox has been doing it for so long, FD. And I'm a Kentucky guy. I knew he was going to be great.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody noticed. Nobody noticed because
why he was chilling. Ball. Never understood that comparison.
I don't know why, but Fox has been in the league for 5-6 years now, FD, and now just because they started winning, people care. And so if you really think about basketball and the way it moves, you can't just be good. You got to win.
You got to win. So that brings up the question: like we look at it, we're talking about football, basketball, baseball. We don't know who the GOATs are going to be in the future. Will basketball be what is a different champion every year, or is somebody else going to come along and win 2, 3, 4, 5 championships?
I mean,
that's another question. We don't know.
Oh, I think it's the basketball in the history of basketball for the last 50, 60 years has been built on dynasties, FD. They have allowed that to happen. But here's the problem that they can't control now. In the next 5-10 years, right? And LeBron was one of the main proponents of this because he started doing it, and now so many people are doing it outside of him. The top 5 players that could be considered part of that GOAT of that generation, they will make more off the court than on the court.
True.
So you know what that means? That means that they don't care. They want to go and win. So if I go make 45 million with my one team, if I stay an extra year, or I'm going to go get 35 million at a bigger market, and then they're going to give me some marketing contract for 15, 20 mil. Well, I made the same amount of money. And, that's why I think, like, if I was Jaylen Brown, I actually would, like, there's no reason to leave in Boston. You're getting 60 mil and you're getting Boston. But if he was in Oklahoma City, I don't know if I want to stay in Oklahoma City.
Maybe
60 mil. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is dynasties are going to emerge. And there are going to be some players that will be on the move. Like, I do not believe Giannis Antetokounmpo will stay in Milwaukee.
Neither do I. People are saying that. I think he's gone.
I think he's gone. I don't know where, but I think he's gone. I think Dame is eventually going to get moved this year. And he's not going to go, but he has delivered by himself, almost like on an island for a dozen years. So we'll see what happens with him. But I think what I'm trying to say is the dynasty effect is going to happen for one of these young players. I just don't know who is it going to be. Is it going to be Luka? Is it going to be Anthony Edwards? Right? One of those kind of guys are not going to be happy with their situation, and they're going to make so much money. They're like, all that matters now is can I get the ring?
I ask the question all the time on here. People who watch now, will Luka ever win a championship? Do you think he'll win a championship?
Yes.
And break it down. Tell me why you think that.
I just think that it will eventually happen, and it's probably not going to happen in Dallas.
But Sheek, I ask you this question then.
Yeah.
A rebuttal. What if it doesn't happen? What if he plays his whole career and doesn't win a ring? What does that do to the sports world? What does that do to the hobby?
The thing is, like, most of the price drop on Luka has already happened.
Mm-hmm, true.
He's already down like what? Probably 70% since the peak.
50 to 65, 70%. Significant.
Yeah.
There's some cards I thought I could never afford that we're getting into the realm of if I wanted that card, I could go for it.
Yeah, I honestly, one of those cards for me was Flawless Vertical RPA. And I'm like, oh, those are going for like 25 now. It's like, oh, maybe it's within reach of some of the stuff if I wanted to move some things. That's neither here nor there. But if the price had stayed where it was, FD, I think it's more detrimental for the hobby. But because the price has become more realistic, right? He's actually around like Giannis prices in a lot of places, right? And Giannis won a ring, but I think people like Luka's game more. That's probably what it is. And so what I'm trying to say is, like, say he doesn't pan out. All right, we're going to get another 50% drop, but then we'll get another 50% drop. But it's not going to be like overnight we're going to lose 50%. No. It's not going to be like what it did. Like in the last, year, it's dropped significantly. I don't think you're going to see a drop like that for Luka percentage-wise ever again. That was it. And it was too hot. It was too hot, to be frank.
Absolutely.
But essentially, the other reason you're not going to get the drop is I think they're either going to bring him a star or he's going to go. And he'll go to go be with another star.
It's going to be interesting.
I think for me, the most interesting thing is if I look at Tatum prices and Anthony Edwards prices, and Anthony Edwards is a lot more expensive than Tatum.
A lot more.
A lot more.
I think people have given up on Tatum. What if Tatum
Because of like what he did in the finals, or just because like
what he did in the finals and what he did last year?
Still
he
a great
basically
player.
played the same way in the playoffs.
I know.
Years. Just didn't go as far.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a 50-point game in the series, and you have a 15-point game in the same series.
Yeah.
And then Jalen comes out and gets the contract. You're talking about someone else who probably might be leaving. Kyrie just signed a big contract. Where's Luka at?
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised someone gave Kyrie a big contract, but then again, I also think it was a play to make Luka kind of happy.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe he has somebody that he can build with. At least he thinks. While they might be trying to shop him, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
But you do know wherever Giannis goes is probably championship bound or finals bound.
Yeah, I can't see him go to anywhere that can't compete, and that's you make a good call here. I got to ask you this question. What do you think about this?
Mm-hmm.
Do we give up faster on basketball prospects than other sports prospects?
Oh yeah, we do. You can come out in basketball, be a top lottery pick, and you don't produce. I start hearing the word bust early. You're a bust.
Don't you feel like people say that for quarterbacks too, though? Like, don't you think people are going to say that about like maybe like Kenny Pickett in like 6 weeks now if he doesn't pan out? Isn't that kind of the same?
Aaron Rodgers sat on the bench for years.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes sat down for a full year.
Yeah.
We don't give these guys, and you got to be 3 years removed from high school to play in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
We talking about guys 18, 19, 20 years old. We don't give them any time to develop, grow, grow into their bodies, anything. They're busts. They're done. And I'm telling you, and as we go forward, that's not going to be the case. There are going to be guys that you're going to see them climb. Think about if Kobe Bryant came out right now. Kobe was struggling when he first came into the NBA.
Yeah, first year wasn't
right now. He's a bust.
Yeah.
You traded what? Diva? You did what to get this guy? He's over here shooting air balls?
Well, let's go more recent. Joel Embiid. You know how people were talking about him being a bust?
He would be
right?
a bust. Yeah.
Played like 50 games the first 3 years or something like that. And people were like, he's done. And then there was videos going out that he's eating cheeseburgers before the game on that one season he played 50 games. And people were like, this guy can't pan out. And look, he won an MVP.
This is what I'm talking about. Give a guy a chance to develop, grow into his body, grow into his mindset, grow into the amount of money he's making, grow into what's his new lifestyle. Before you start saying that guy's done.
I know. I think we all do it though. We all do it. I'll tell you this though. I think some of it is a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if you ever listen to these interviews after the game, but some of them I'm just like, I'm not really feeling that killer instinct from you. Now that's just a personal biased opinion because I don't know what goes into the craft of being a professional athlete. It's totally different. But the vibe that I keep seeing over and over and over again is this fine line of being addicted. And that's the thing that I keep seeing over and over again. And I go back to business on this. The people that I know that are the most successful are they're almost like drill sergeants with their schedule. They're like, I'm going to get up at this time. This is going to be my morning routine. And then these are the things we're going to accomplish in the day. And then they just do it again on repeat. And it doesn't matter what's happening in their like day-to-day, like personal lives. That always seems to supersede the consistency. And I don't know. I think about this when I played tennis for a long time. There are some matches that became easy because practice made it easy. And maybe that's that preparation thing. Yeah. And I don't know if I'm seeing enough of that this year now in the NBA. I don't know. I don't want to act like an old head, but I kind of feel sometimes that.
No, what you're saying, I totally agree with.
Yeah, all those guys that like love Jordan and hate LeBron, right? There's a ton of those guys. I'm starting to wonder, dang, am I gonna be like one of those old heads in about 10 years that love LeBron and hate all the young guys?
You gotta embrace. You will be. I think what we're talking about is that dog, though. That's what we're talking about.
Well, that's why I like Anthony Edwards.
We're talking about, like, I read the autobiography of Jerry Rice years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't miss anything that dealt with working out. Working out, getting his body right, running heels, lifting, getting his diet together took precedence over graduate. Now, I'm not saying this is what everybody wants to do.
Yeah.
This is what Jerry Rice did. Took precedent over wedding anniversaries, graduations, birthday parties. His wife knew. His family knew. If we're going to schedule this birthday party for Jerry Rice Jr., it better be when he's not working out or getting ready.
But see, FD, here's the problem with that. I'm gonna give you 2 examples, okay? T.O. was about that. And T.O., great career, right? Very consistent, all about his diet and fitness. Even after he couldn't make it in the league, he was still trying and doing everything correct. But then another person that did the exact opposite and was at the top of his game, Allen Iverson. They said Allen Iverson never practiced.
He never practiced, came
just
to
showed up
game and practiced drunk.
Yeah, and he was that good.
From the club to the night game, back to the club. But Sheek, what we don't know, Allen Iverson shot poorly from the field most of his career. If he was in today's game, people would probably rip him for that.
I don't know, man. He was doing things so amazing though.
Yeah, but that year they went to the finals. He shot 30-some% from the field for the 76ers that entire year. But he still averaged 31 points a game. So he basically said, I'm going to take the ball out of Eric Snow's hand and everybody else on this team, and I'm just going to shoot the ball, and you better be happy with it because we're going to go far in the season. But when you play like that, you can't win. But the 2 things I always talk about in basketball, what if Allen Iverson had 40% of the drive that Kobe had?
Mm-hmm.
What would he be? What if Shaq stayed in that Orlando Magic shape?
Mm-hmm.
Most of his career. Shaq would average 50 and 30.
Yeah, Shaq would have won a couple of championships in Orlando for sure. With Penny for sure.
If he stayed that level of in shape, those are the 2 biggest questions for me. So when you say Allen Iverson, yeah, it's like Michael Vick. Michael Vick watched 0 film. He just came out and played. What would he have been if he sat down and went the Peyton Manning or the Tom Brady approach and actually got his mental state together for the game?
I mean, I don't know if you watched the Johnny Manziel documentary. He was talking about how he never watched film. And I'm sitting there thinking, I don't even know how you're this good without watching film.
But so from someone that played ball, when you look at Manziel, you kind of knew that.
I mean, you knew it in the NFL, but he didn't do that in college either.
No, you kind of knew that, though. He was a runaround guy. Let me sling this rock.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
I know. I mean, remind me of Favre, honestly.
Yeah.
In college, I was like, oh man, he's a gunslinger. That's kind of how it is. So let me ask you this, and we're coming up on an hour, but I want to ask you this: what are you looking forward to the most in this NBA season that's coming up? Because no one's talking about NBA yet, and it's coming in 5 weeks.
I want to see what these guys really 2nd year, 3rd year through 6th year. Who's going to really take a step?
Mm-hmm.
People talk about Jalen Green. If you're shooting 41%, I can't. But who's going to take a step? Who's going to really show? Steph, LeBron, KD, James Harden, all these guys are getting long in the tooth. They're about to leave. I want to take the league over. Who I think is going to be is someone like Shaq. I think Shea has started to show he's different than a lot of people in his own age group, a lot of people in his draft class. He is different. And if he's starting to show that, is he going to be too big for the OKC market? Is he going to
talk about Kentucky guys? Can I tell you a story about Shea that nobody really knows about? So, I'm not a personal story. I watched every game in college, so I know what's going on. We had 4 5-star recruits that year. I can't even remember what their names are now. And Shea was the 4-star recruit from Canada. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He started on the bench for the first 10 games.
See what I'm talking about? Yeah.
And he played about 10 minutes a game. And then all of a sudden, and the way college ball works, if don't watch it, is you go about 15 games non-conference, then you go 15 games conference, then you got the tournaments. So when we start getting to the SEC play, he starts taking over the starting spot. Okay, so then the guy that's starting starts getting angry that he lost his position.
Mm-hmm.
But Shea starts averaging more. He starts hitting every free throw because he was shooting like 85% from the line and he was making it. So we go to the tournament and he starts getting game winners. He took us, almost I think either Elite 8 or Final 4. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he hit 2 game-winning shots on our way to that route. And I kept on thinking, I can't think of another guy that's come from the Calipari system as a 4-star become the best guy on the team, because usually the 5 stars are John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, like all those guys were 5-star recruits. And he was the 4-star that everybody, and just so you know, what happens is they have a big blue and white game scrimmage before the season starts. And that's like your starters versus your bench pretty much playing against each other. They fill all Rupp Arena for it. 25,000 people come up to it. I remember nobody was talking about him. They're like, oh, who's this Canadian kid? Nobody was talking about him. The fact that he went and took over that spot, became the star player for our team, I think led us to the Elite 8. Then he went to the Clippers.
That's
I
right.
bet you the Clippers are begging that they didn't make
They
that deal.
traded him because Kawhi didn't want to play with a rookie, so they went out Paul George.
I know, but it's like, listen, it's like the Andrew Wiggins thing all over with LeBron, except, if it got the Clippers a championship, I would say hell with Shea.
That's right.
But they didn't get one.
That's right.
At least LeBron got one with getting Kevin Love back in the return.
That's a good background story on Shea. To me, he's just different. You watch him play, he's under control, low impact, or he could take it to the rim and dunk it on you. Then he's back on defense.
Yeah.
We're going to see what Chet is going to do and what Giddey's going to do with him. We'll see. But I think Shea is the person I'm really looking at to see what is he going to do this year.
Yeah. I think for me, I want to see if Anthony Edwards can take them past the play-in. I want to see, can you get me a 6? But the problem is, I think the makeup of the team is bad. And if he can take that makeup of the team to just even like a 6 or 7 spot, like that will be good for me. But I think the main issue is this Gobert and Cat problem that they have. They put too much money into that backcourt.
Huge amount.
Yeah. Front court. So either one thing's going to happen, FD. They don't make the playoffs this year. I think they're going to blow it up and then put Edwards there and then Reese around him.
Well, we got to see who Edwards is. He says he's the man. He can talk a lot.
You don't think he's the man? I think he's the man. I see signs of, like, I don't think he's going to be this good, but who knows? I see signs of Dwayne Wade and Anthony Edwards. I see some flashes.
You do know in Dwayne Wade's 4th season, he won a championship.
I mean, I would love to have Shaq on my team.
Oh, well.
I'm not saying it, and let's be frank here. Shaq was not the B on that team. He was. I would say, in the finals, I would give it to Wade. Okay, Wade won them the finals, but to get to the NBA finals, it was Shaq and Wade 1A and 1B.
Oh, it was.
They were both delivering, but in the finals, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to Wade.
We gotta see. This is just what I'm about, Sheek. I can't hear you talk about it unless I've seen you be about it, right? So I gotta see Miles closed, and I gotta see somebody balling out. Now, I went to a game personally. Clippers playing the Minnesota Timberwolves, and Anthony Edwards was kind of floating around the court. Didn't do too much.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see somebody who's dogmatic about what they want and what they're talking about in game 52. Maybe I got spoiled because I watched Mike Jordan. Maybe I get spoiled because I've seen Steph Curry and what Clay did. I got to see somebody who wants this thing and is coming out and going to go after it every night of the week. This is why it's hard for me to get excited about people like LaMelo Ball and some other people.
Well, I mean, FD, you just talked about you got to give people a shot. So give him a shot. He's only been in the league for 2 years.
I'm going to give him a shot. But I see a lot of talking, and I've seen a lot of players in the course of my ball watching that have done a lot of talking. They do a little bit of producing.
I'll tell you this, okay? So there's another guy. He's no secret. People are buying him, but I'm really kind of high also on Mikal Bridges. I think he's the truth. The thing is, I don't know if he can be. He's not number one on
He's
a
not. I
championship
don't think
team,
I don't think
but
so.
but he's definitely I can see as a 2 or a 3.
I agree
The
with that.
second tier best player on a championship team, and people are just they're like whatever with him. They don't want to. I don't know if they don't want to give him credit because I'm Brooklyn or what, but listen, he's also a national title winner. It's not like it's a joke.
He's also a guy that doesn't miss games. He's a guy that doesn't talk a lot.
Yep.
He comes out and produces. That
Yep.
falls a little bit closer into the realm of who I get excited about.
Yep.
We'll see on Anthony Edwards, though. I wish him the best, though. I want to see him do well.
Well, I think we also, we deserve it as fans to get maybe who's that next guy we're going to cheer for. Like after LeBron and Curry go, who do you think is going to be?
We don't know.
You don't think they're in the league right now?
To me, when I think of that player, I go back to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh gosh, I can't go that high on Shea.
I think to me, Shea shows me more than Anthony Edwards does.
FD, the one thing you're forgetting is you also got the personality for it, and Shea doesn't got that.
But the personality doesn't win championships.
I mean,
Because
okay.
I would say
Kawhi is boring.
Probably
right?
just talking historically. You never heard anything from Steph Curry.
Oh, he's been funny. He's been good. Steph's always been laughing.
Anthony Edwards is like walking bravado. He's over the top on some stuff. He's talking.
Okay, wait, Mike wasn't over the top.
Oh, Mike
wasn't over the top.
Mike's game was in a whole nother solar system compared to Anthony Edwards.
Not in year two. Not in year two.
Oh, year two.
He broke his leg in year 2.
Yeah, but then he came back and averaged 35, and I mean it was bananas.
Okay, so, let's see what he can do, because I'm telling you, he's got to win. He can't just put up numbers. He's got to win for the team, and he's taken like what I think is a bad components team. So let's see if he can do something with it. I don't know, but for me, I don't know why. I kind of feel like he reminds me of an old school player. I don't know if you feel that, but I feel that, and maybe that's why I like him.
Okay, I respect it. I just don't want him to be like all these quarterbacks we talk about.
Which one?
The ones that don't do anything. But they do a lot of talking, but you don't see too much from them.
And they make a lot of money.
Make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So we're not going to have you back on again. We got to catch up later in the season and see how some of these things kind of pan out.
Well, you know what? Before I get off here, how about we do a little thing here? Top 5 players that we think could explode in this season. I can go first, and then I can let you go right after that.
Pick it up.
Okay. All right. So I actually think number 1 on my list is going to be Mikal Bridges. I think he's number 1 on my list. I think he's the one that's he will be the alpha on that team. I think he's going to get 25, 30 points. Number 2 that we're going to see price explosion. Not saying he's going to be accomplished, but price explosion is going to be Jordan Poole. I think he's going to be there. He's going to get a lot of points. Doesn't mean he's good, but he got he got crushed from the media. He got crushed from Golden State. His price dropped a lot, and I think it probably dropped too much given what he can do. So number 3 for me is going to be Paolo Banchero. I think he's already expensive, but I don't think people realize what he can really do. So I've been watching him in the FIBA World Basketball thing. I think he's way better than advertised. So he's going to be number 3. I will say this: I'm not a big Houston Rockets believer on them doing great, but I have a candidate on that team that I think is going to do really well. And I think that is Jabari Smith Jr. Mm-hmm. That's the guy I think he potentially can deliver. And lastly, this is my pick, a little bit more dark horse, but he's starting to gain some steam, is Jaden Hardy out of Dallas. He's the new Brunson replacement.
Yep.
He put up 30 points through 2 or 3 times right at the end of the season when Luka was kind of sitting, and they wanted to take the Knicks pick, right? So those are like my 5 off the top of my head, no research, just what I think.
So I'm gonna throw out 5 in no particular order. You know, I got Shea. I like Brunson. Scoot Henderson. I own Scoot. I can't wait until Scoot plays Anthony Edwards.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's gonna be very interesting.
He likes to drive to the hole.
Oh yeah. We're gonna see what kind of because Anthony Edwards said he wants to be known for his defense first. I'm gonna see how that matches up those nights they play Portland. You know I'm gonna put James Wiseman in there. That's where I'm at on him. This is a huge season for him. He has to take steps. This is no baby steps. And my 5th player is Ashur Thompson from Detroit.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I don't know anything about him.
Both Thompson boys got a motor. They play defense and they can shoot the rock. And I think they're both going to do well. I just wish his brother was not in Houston, but I think they're both going to do very well. So I just gave you a small forward, 3 guards, and a center.
Yeah, I mean, honorary pick. I don't know. I wish I could. I like Tari Eason too from Houston, but I just don't think he will get enough PT. And I like the Detroit guy. The Detroit, they have I think there's a guard in Detroit.
Kate Cunningham?
No, not him. Everyone knows.
You're talking about Sasser?
Sasser? No.
Sasser's a small point guard?
No. He plays the 4 or 5, I thought, for them. Is it not Sadiq Bey? Gosh, I can't remember.
You're thinking about Durant? Jalen Durant?
Yes.
Oh, you like
Jalen Durant? Good. He's good. He's a lot better than advertised. I feel like he's a double machine.
You know who he reminds me of? I say this all the time. He reminds me of a young Otis Thorpe.
I never watched him.
Not really an offensive player, but for the offense, he will score. He's very athletic, and he can rebound the basketball.
You need role players. You need people that do their job.
That's right.
Yeah.
Totally agree. And what I love was when they played Durant and Wiseman at the same time.
Do you think Detroit will make some noise? Do you think they can get into a play-in?
I think Detroit is playoff bound. It'll be a low seed. Yeah, I'm saying low seed playoff bound. The East is not that tough, man.
Yeah. I mean, but the top is still top heavy. It's like there's 4 or 5 teams that are going to be playoff spots guaranteed. Boston, right? Miami, the Bucks. Those 3 are guaranteed. I mean, I don't know if you want to toss the Knicks in there or not, but they're definitely going to be in the
playoff team. The Knicks are a playoff team, but you know the way the league is going now, there's going to be some teams who have made playoffs in a while. At least 1 or 2 is going to be in this year's playoff.
Yeah, I mean, do you think Cleveland makes the team playoffs again?
They could, but they're easy out. I mean, that's not. They got to do something else to that roster. That roster is not.
Yeah, you know what? That team that doesn't have the problem. The problem is the Hawks. They need the
the Hawks definitely has to do something. But if your leader is Donovan Mitchell, you're going home. I mean, I'm serious. What is Donovan Mitchell going to do too? Donovan Mitchell scored 71. What did he have the next game? I think he had 20 points and shot like 30%.
All right, so FD, this is going to be my dark horse statement. The Oklahoma City Thunder will not make the playoffs.
Then what happens? So you just told me Chet is not.
Oh, I think their team is good. It's just the West is loaded, and I think what they have to do is they need to package some of their young picks and go get some help for Shea. So to me,
does Shea find a larger market?
Shea, Giddey, Chet, you keep those 3 guaranteed, and Jalen Williams, you keep those 4. Everybody else can go.
So Dort's got to go.
Yeah, Dort's got to go. Some of your young picks can go. Package them up, get them, maybe a center if you need that or something. I'm a huge believer in Jalen Williams. I love him.
I like Jalen Williams.
By the way, they
played
him in practice on the second team, and he shut down, I think, Mikal Bridges in the game.
Oh, he can play defense. He can.
Oh yeah.
He stays composed. He's more mature than his tenure in the league when you see him play.
If there's like 2 of, you know how I told you I like to buy tier 2 players. If there are 2 tier 2 players, I'm thinking about price. Okay, like Jalen Williams is not anywhere close to Chet prices
No.
or Paolo prices.
No.
But Jalen Williams is a guy I like, and I'm buying him low off key right now. And also Keegan Murray is another guy.
Keegan Murray's
A
gonna
little
have
boring, but he's a delivers.
he's gonna have a long career doing what he's doing. He can play decent defense and he can shoot your lights out.
Yep. And
who's gonna have a better year, Wemby or Chet?
Wemby.
Mm-hmm.
You got Shea taking up all the balls. You know,
I just don't believe in Chet. I just can't.
You don't believe in Chet. Oh, we'll see. I mean, he got to stay healthy. I think we'll see how he's going to pan out. You like Scoot over Wemby?
Oh yeah, I think Scoot's going to be the dog in this draft.
That'll be very interesting. Yeah, I think I'm going to take Wemby right now. He's got to stay healthy. It worries me about being 7'3" and all, but they're gonna make him play everywhere, and I hope Pop teaches him some defense.
I hope so. It's going to be interesting though. You know, when these guys get past 35 games, what are they looking like? Because most of them hit a road, so a brick, a spot in the road. So we'll see. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of questions. Where's the NBA going? Who is doing what? Who's going to be the concrete players? We got guys who have been around for years that are about to leave this league, and who are they leaving it to? And we don't.
But right now, I will say this: I do not think that there is there's not a guy currently in the league that I'm like, oh, they can be top 10 all time. Like, I don't have that.
Oh, it may not be. It may not be right now. There could be someone sitting in 8th grade right now.
Yeah.
That's going to be that. I mean, you might be right. There may not be anyone out there.
I mean, Curry, Durant, and LeBron, I'm not including them. They're done.
I know this. Yeah, I know you're not including them.
Also, I don't have Durant in my top 10. But essentially...
Durant is not in my top 10 either.
Yeah, actually, I don't have Curry in my top 10. He's right outside.
Oh, he was 11? What you got him at?
Probably like 11 to 12. I can tell you my list if you want me to tell you the list. In no particular order, this is the list.
Yeah, break it down. Go ahead.
Jordan, number 1. I might go in order. LeBron, number 2. Okay. I have Kareem at 3.
Okay.
Here's the surprise one. I have Shaq at 4 all time.
Okay.
5, I have Kobe.
We both have Kobe at 5. Go ahead.
I have Magic at 6.
Okay.
I have Bird at 7.
Okay.
8, I have Tim Duncan.
Okay.
9,
I got Tim at 8. Go ahead.
At 9, I have Wilt.
Okay.
And 10, I go back and forth on this, but I'm gonna stick with who I got. And this is where Curry kind of comes in, where I'm trying to figure out if he's there or not. I'm going back and forth between Curry and Hakeem.
Okay, so let me break down. Number 1, I got Mike Jordan. Number 2, I got Oscar Robertson. Number 3, I got Magic Johnson. Number 4, I got Kareem. Number 5, I got Kobe. 6, Bill Russell. 7, Hakeem Olajuwon. 8, Tim Duncan. 9, Steph Curry. I think Steph probably after this year is going to be up further than that. I got 10, Wilt, and I got 11, LeBron James.
Yeah, you know what? I can't believe I forgot about Bill Russell. But Bill Russell's got to be somewhere in my top 10 somewhere. So Curry, I can't get Curry in my top 10. So
this is my thing. Like, I feel like I cannot put LeBron over Wilt, Tim, Bill Russell, Kareem, Magic Johnson, and Oscar Robertson. That's just me.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, is this because not enough championships or what?
Well, I think fundamentally, I think I posted something about this today or the other day. LeBron James has moved around the league to win championships from early in his career. We're talking about guys who came in with a team, cut their teeth with a team, became better with a team, lost with a team, won with a team, and then some of these players left when they got older.
Wait,
but leave to chase a ring.
Jordan only played 13 years. LeBron left in year 7.
Yeah, but Jordan didn't have to play more than that. And what if Jordan would have played those other 2 years and he went to play baseball?
But he wouldn't, because you know why he like, yeah, he went to baseball to honor his dad, but the truth is, and you know it, he got tired of basketball. That's what it was.
Either he got tired or he got kind of gambling thing. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah. I mean, I can't answer for if someone didn't want to have the drive to play for those 2 years. That's on them.
Well, when they didn't play, I mean, but LeBron has strategically moved around the league and tried to set teams up to win.
Okay, he took a pay cut for Miami, right? He didn't have to take a pay cut. That's not even an issue that I have. Did you know that Michael Jordan wanted to leave Chicago?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he didn't like Jerry
It was in the Chicago newspaper.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. He didn't like the owner.
And Kobe wanted to leave the Lakers.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is, like, other people wanted to move too,
but they stayed. But they
had.
why
did they stay? Why did they stay?
They had to endure. I don't know what their personal reasons were, but they had to endure.
Kobe won his first championship without Shaq.
Kobe's not winning any championships early without Shaq.
Okay, so did he stay because he also won those championships early in his career? Jordan's something we can talk about.
Did LeBron leave to go to 2 other top draft picks in Miami to just be there? He didn't have a ring before he got there. He went to win rings. He came out the floor and said, "Not 4, not 5." He wanted to get rings.
He probably, I agree. That's bad.
Well, LeBron is a ring chaser, man. That's just what he is. He just chases rings down. And right now, he's chasing being relevant. So USA, we should talk about this before you go. USA comes out, loses, right?
Yeah.
Lithuania, Germany, and to Canada. Within no time, LeBron's like, "Hey, I think I'm going to come out for 2024 and play in these Olympics."
Well, I always felt he was going to do that. It's going to be probably his last time.
Oh, yeah. But now we have to wrap it in. I'm saving something. And now the story is I'm on the phone recruiting Steph, KD. Hey, let's go do this. Come on, Sheek. Come on, bro. LeBron, Golden State was in the finals. LeBron James is on a yacht with Lewis Hamilton, releasing statements that he's the first active billionaire in the NBA. Like, dude, let's let the finals get through before you start talking about LeBron James. He can't do that. He's not going to do that.
I gotta say something, man. So it's interesting that you call it so much ring chasing, but like, I don't know if Warriors winning that first ring without those injuries LeBron team got it happened. It's part of sports.
I don't know if Cleveland wins if Draymond doesn't get kicked out of the finals.
That's true, but that's like the second.
Yeah.
That was the second one year. Yeah. But I'm talking about first year. Like, it's either way, whatever. You want to draw it, we can draw it. So the first one, they're not winning if Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving are there. They're just not going to. Matthew Dellavedova almost got you guys in trouble. Could you imagine what it would have been like with Kyrie? And remember, you're going up. That team had no championship pedigree. There's nobody on that team that won a chip.
Nope.
That was major. So what I'm saying is that first one you guys got, yes, Draymond probably shouldn't have been kicked out. It might have been a very big difference.
It's unprecedented to kick out.
Yeah, but I and this is a lot of LeBron fans talking. I've watched those last 5 minutes of Game 7 at least a dozen times, which is scary. I'm sure Warriors fans never watch it, but I watch it all the time. They just bricked every shot. It wasn't LeBron stopping them. He just bricked it. I mean, you had like the block was your only best chance of, getting past 89 points. Final score is 93-89. But turnovers, bricks, and you just missed it. So I get it. Draymond shouldn't have been out, and there was momentum. But you have 5 minutes to score a point off of a guy that you're calling top 10 ever.
Point forward, probably best defender off the floor.
I'm not doubting you, but I'm talking about 5 minutes in fourth quarter, and you got what people are calling the most clutch person. People were calling Steph more clutch than LeBron at that point. You know that.
And Steph is still more clutch than LeBron.
Okay. So you have the most clutch guy with 5 minutes to go, and you didn't make a basket. And that's just, how it ended. Whatever. Let's call it what it is. First year probably could have gone to Cleveland. The next year probably could have gone to the Warriors in year 2.
Mhm.
But then you're talking about being a ring chaser. I'm just sitting there thinking, well, you got Kevin Durant. If Kevin Durant went to LeBron, do you guys think he would have won?
But we won without Kevin Durant.
I'm not saying you can't win without Kevin Durant, but I'm saying those two championships, right? Kevin Durant came and he was like the Shaq and D Wade conversation, 1A and 1B, right? 1A and 1B, Curry and Durant, 1A and 1B. I'm just saying that like those rings also came because a super team was created.
But let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Will Steph retire with Golden State or will LeBron retire with the Lakers? And we talking about ring chasing, relevancy.
I think LeBron will retire as a Cavalier.
He's going to retire someplace else.
Yeah, I think he's going to retire as a Cavalier. I think
we can put all the money in the middle of the table. He's going somewhere. He won't retire with the Lakers, but Steph Curry will retire with the Golden State Warriors.
I know, but if LeBron had won more championships early to mid of his career, why would he ever leave Cleveland? He never wanted to. That's where he's from.
It's a small market, though, man. It's a very small market.
So that, but you said he's a ring chaser. So why does that?
He knew he wasn't going to win in Cleveland. What was he going? He was going to be a guy. If he'd have stayed in Cleveland, he'd have been like a Charles Barkley guy. He'd have been someone that you said, man, you know that guy had a lot of ability. He has maybe 0 or 1 ring right now.
I mean, so was it worth it? Was it worth it then?
I don't think it was. I think him actually chasing rings has hurt his longevity when people talk about goatness and greatness.
Well, I'll tell you this. If he never won a ring and stayed in Cleveland and made it to multiple finals, that would have been worse than what he got for them. Him getting them 1 ring. By the way, I view that 1 ring more important than the other 3 rings combined. That 1 ring in Cleveland.
I think that 1 ring is what we traditionally saw players do.
That not only that, he delivered on what the promise was that he wanted. He wanted a ring for Cleveland. That's the team that he rooted for as a kid. That's the one he wanted. I'll tell you this. If he had left Cleveland without a ring, I would have been upset. Like the second time. I think he needed to learn to win, and he couldn't figure it out. I mean, I was watching that finals team that he took, that first one, when he was young.
Mm-hmm.
That team was garbage.
Is that the team that got swept?
Yep. Boobie Gibson, Delonte West.
Oh, trash.
Big Z. I think JJ Hickson was a starter, something like that. Just absolute. We had no business. You know, I said we because I'm a LeBron guy, but they had no business being in the finals. And then, you know, they got their butt whooped. But essentially, I think he didn't know how to win. Like he didn't have he didn't have help. He never had a guy as good as Dwayne Wade or Chris Bosh ever on his.
But you do know, Curry's never had a top 75 player play with him.
Oh, come on now. What about Clay?
Clay's not top 75.
He will be. He will be when it's done.
He'll be top 100.
Okay. All right. You tell me this. In what world should they have put Anthony? Maybe he's not the right person, but Anthony Davis is number 75 on that list. Mm-hmm. Are you telling me, dude, that they shouldn't have gotten rid of any of those other guys near 60 to 75 to put in Dwight Howard? How can Dwight Howard not be on the top 75 list?
You know what I love? I love when Steven Sale jumps in and tries to act like LeBron doesn't chase rings down.
Say it again.
Steven Sales here says, didn't LeBron play for like 1 team for 11 years and got 1 ring out of it?
He did. He played with the Cavs for 11 years, 7-4, and then won 2 out of 4 in Miami. And then since then, he's been on the Lakers and won 1.
It's like playing musical chairs and telling people you're playing checkers. You're playing musical chairs.
Man, you really don't like Kevin Durant then if you don't like LeBron.
Well, Durant can't lead a team.
Well, that he went to the finals. He took a team to the finals.
He can't lead a team, man. He's not built like that. When you're moved by Twitter fingers and people talking through keyboards, you can't lead a team. And he knows
that's a different point.
He left to go somewhere where he can actually showcase his skills, and he still wasn't the man with Golden State. He was a strong contributor to what was going on. He didn't want to take that team and put it on his shoulders.
I mean, I agree with you in the notion that Curry made the team run, but they ain't winning against LeBron without Kevin Durant.
I mean,
that was prime LeBron.
That was prime LeBron. That was Really,
the best LeBron I
probably
ever
the
seen.
best LeBron was LeBron in Miami.
I agree. The best LeBron was Miami, but the most mature with good athleticism was those 3-4 years that they kept facing going. Like, look, just to be frank, like this LeBron's lost a step, but nobody really wants to talk about it.
He's a totally different player. He's a driver. He's a totally different player now but his body, no human body can take that. You can't keep doing what he was doing.
Let me ask you a question. When you were watching that game 1 that J.R. Smith didn't put the putback on that missed layup, did you feel bad for LeBron after that?
No. But I did think J.R. Smith does not know basketball. There are many guys who play ball and don't really know the game. And J.R. Smith.
Yeah. Listen, LeBron had a 50-piece. They overturned the call from a foul to a charge right before then. I don't know if you remember that. I remember it was like 35 seconds to go. They overturned that, and then the guy didn't realize the score and tried to dribble it out and then shoot it on a guy. They didn't even score 100 points, I don't think. No. LeBron had 50 that game. So I'm just trying to tell you, like, I'm just giving you context. Like, indirectly, I hate to say it, but nobody wants to admit it. But is it possible that Kevin Durant went to Golden State because that was the only way to beat LeBron?
I actually thought he got tired of getting beat by Golden State, so let me just play with these guys.
That's worse, to be honest.
Oh, I mean, I think that's Kevin. He has shown since he left Golden State more of his personality. I mean, one could say he could get in a disagreement with Draymond on the bench and still stay on the team. I mean, why do you have to leave the team right now? And then you go somewhere and not really do too much. And then another thing I always ask people is, how many defensive highlights have you seen from Kevin Durant?
I mean, early in his career is pretty good.
That's not his game. His game is to shoot you.
I hate like talking against LeBron, but he got robbed in game 1 of the 2012 NBA Finals.
How did he get robbed? What do you mean?
So LeBron fouled him on his hip, and he was on the baseline. And it was a mid-range jumper, and they didn't call it. And I think they were down by 1 with 10 seconds to go. And LeBron clearly fouled him, and they didn't call it. Like, I know you're talking about defense, but that play always comes up in my mind. Go after this call, go watch it. It's the final 10 seconds of game 1 or game 2. Sorry, it's game 2, and OKC won game 1 to take a 1-0 lead.
Okay.
And the conversation I remember in the media was Kevin Durant's got LeBron, and LeBron can't win. He doesn't know how to win because they were up 2-1 versus the Mavs, and then they couldn't close it. Then they go and play OKC the next year, and OKC's up 1-0. And then the talk after game 2 was how the refs missed the call that would have given OKC a 2-0 lead. And then it was history. It was history after that. Like, they tied the series 1-1. LeBron figured it out. Then it was 4-1. That was the series. But essentially, I just remember that play, and I was like, there are certain plays that just like change the pantheon of a player, And I'll leave you with this. My favorite game of all time for LeBron is Game 7 versus the Spurs. That's my number 1 favorite LeBron game of all time.
All right. That's when the world was trying to figure out, what is LeBron going to do? Is he going to win a lot of championships? Or that was a really important time in his career too.
No. This one was with the Heat. I'm not talking about the first one.
Oh, they're talking about the first one.
He got swept. This is the one where the game after Ray Allen shot.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember like it was yesterday, Tim Duncan missed a bunny against Shane Battier, a shot that he could make in his sleep to take the lead. And he missed it. And then they're up by 1, and LeBron just goes to the elbow and just drains it. And I don't know. I will tell you this, when he pulled that shot in, I was like, it just reminded me of like Jordan's spot, because it was Jordan's spot right there on the elbow.
It was Jordan's spot. He was just on the elbow. I respect everything you're saying. I respect your fandom of LeBron. And when LeBron first started his career, I was a big LeBron James fan. It's just going to be interesting on how he decides to end his career. and where does he leave a mental image in your mind, the average fan? Where does he leave you at? As Tom Brady left, walking on his own accord.
Go twice.
Yeah, but I'm talking about final time.
Yeah.
Walked out. Yesterday, he came out with the Patriots, number 12 on, hyped up. It makes you feel, it leaves you with something. I just want to see when LeBron decides to, I'm going to go ahead and, take these sneakers off. What is he going to leave us with? And I think that is going to say a lot about his entire career, how he left the game. Kobe left the game 60-piece, and then went off and started doing other stuff, coaching his daughter. He left us with something. What is LeBron going to do? Because it's going to be important. And I think his PR people know that. They're planning something because it has to be a certain kind of way. It can't just be LeBron doing what LeBron's been doing.
I know. I'm out here in LA now, right? So I got to go catch him in a game. I've only seen one game with LeBron, and that was in his Cleveland days. So
I've only seen one game. He his first year in Miami. I was living in Detroit. They came to Detroit. He's the fastest, and I haven't gone to a lot of NBA basketball, but enough. He's the fastest big guy, 6'6", 6'7", 6'8" that I've ever
He
seen.
does not look 6'8" in person. He looks like he has a bigger torso than anybody.
When you see him on the court moving, I've never seen a big, and how bow-legged he is. I've never seen a big guy move with the speed and the grace that he does. It's amazing.
He's the first guy where I'm like, he stands next to Dwight Howard. He doesn't look that small.
Doesn't. He's a big guy, and he can move with it, man. LeBron is a special athlete. You can't deny that.
Mm-hmm.
I just got, I think, tainted by growing up and watching MJ do his thing. That when somebody makes comparisons, it just becomes like, really? Okay. It's going to take a lot to dethrone that guy. And I still think because Kobe died suddenly and his silence suddenly, people act like they forget about who he is.
Yeah.
Which it blows my mind that you don't know in a few years who Kobe Bryant is. But I look at him as, when you talk about would snatch your heart out, Michael Jordan, I think of Kobe Bryant. They were different players. So, I got a lot of respect for LeBron. Mm-hmm. To me, he does a lot of hilarious stuff. It's a lot of I want to be relevant stuff,
He likes the lights, man. He
loves the attention. And that's the comedy side to me of LeBron James and wherever it comes from. And I also wish for him that he can retire and find peace somewhere that's not on the court and in front of someone's face all the time. Because it can't.
I feel like once he realizes that his athletic ability has left him, I think he's ready to move on. He's going to keep playing until his athletic ability stays.
Yeah.
If God forbid anything happened to him, but if he has like another serious injury like that hamstring that he had in the second year with Lakers or something, he's done. I think that would be it for him. But
that's what I'm saying. You don't want to see a guy go out like that. You don't want to see that.
I hated seeing Kobe go out like that.
Yeah, you don't want to see that. On the Achilles and hobbling around, and I mean the human body can only take so much. I just want to see I would love to see LeBron James exit the NBA, playing well, healthy, on his own 2 feet, not hobbled, teaching others. That's a great way to go out. You won't see anybody else like him. We can probably watch for a long time, see a big man with that much grace and be able to do his thing and that much longevity. It's going to be hard to, to not.
There'll be somebody, but you and me probably be really old and won't believe it.
It'd be our children sitting around talking about, hey, man. I remember the first day I walked in the room and I said, Dad, you got to check this guy out. His name is Michael Jordan. He's new to the Bulls. And he turned it on. And the first thing he said was, he's cool, but he's not Dr. J. That's where it goes. Hey, what part of LA do you live in?
I mean, I don't really live in LA. I live kind of close to Irvine, so I live in Lake Forest.
Oh, you're good, man. You're good. We got to get together sometime. Yeah, I live way north, like north of Calabasas.
Oh, so you're about like 45 minutes north of Burbank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe like let's meet up at one of the shows, one of the local shows. That way, like we'll go to a card show. And then I don't know, maybe we catch dinner or something.
Yeah, sounds good to me, man. It's been a pleasure and to have you here. I've wanted to have you on for a while, get to know you and talk to you about sports and cards. It's been wonderful.
Awesome, and I actually let's do it again and see if our like top 5 picks pan out.
Most definitely.
Yep.
Sheek, I appreciate you, brother.
Thanks for having me in.
All right, man. You have a good one.
You too.